There you go.
Well, they probably still like him, and we'll see if he can stay out of legal trouble.
I was surprised. He said they had a poll and they still like him. So.
Yeah.
Well, now, as a mayor, what is your opinion about those sorts of things? I'm just kidding with you.
This is Mayor Jim Fouts, the Warren mayor, and Mayor, thank you for coming in for our webcast tonight. It's
Glad to be here.
Great to see you again. Very important election for the city of Detroit. Warren, Detroit, border cities. Initial thoughts on the role of the next mayor of the city of Detroit?
Well, I hope the role of the next mayor of the city and Detroit does a little bit what I did. When I became mayor, I focused on two issues: safer neighborhoods and cleaner neighborhoods. And I think the next mayor of Detroit must focus on the neighborhoods. The central city looks great, everything's nice, but if you want to have a city where people want to move in and you want to have a city where people want to stay, then you've got to fight blight and you've got to fight crime.
And how did you do it? If they're sitting here and they're listening to you, having been in the seat, nuts and bolts, what do they have to do?
Nuts and bolts, very simple. We started blight sweeps. We do that every April and every year, and we go neighborhood by neighborhood, door by door, home by home, what have you, and we leave a list of things that people have to do to clean up, and then we come back and issue warning tickets, and then if those warning tickets aren't heeded, we issue tickets. I'm happy to say that we have a tremendous compliance, and every year that we do this, we get more compliance and we have to issue less tickets. But that's something they need to do. Now, we focus on the southern section of the city and areas of the city that have a high percentage of absentee landlords and things of that nature.
Warren is a big city. Detroit is 139 square miles, though. Can that model be taken into
I
Detroit?
think it
and
can,
could it be
because
successful?
what Detroit would do would be to focus on specific sections in the city that have high crime and high blight. And we also have crime sweeps now, too. We have a Van Dyke sweeps, and where the police go through, and we have something modeled after maybe Mayor Bloomberg of New York. We pull over cars if they have some minor problem with their light is out or anything like that, and we've caught people who should have been arrested for carrying armed weapons, drugs, and a whole host of things, and we've made a dent in crime too. So we have zero tolerance, and we do it in specific sections of the city. Detroit needs to do that, because without neighborhoods, there's no city. Downtown area looks great, but what about the neighborhoods?
Right. Mayor Fouts, let me ask you a specific question. When you took over Warren, one of the first things you did was go out and get yourself a new police chief. And
Yes,
you got
I did.
Chief Dwyer, Bill Dwyer, who was in Farmington Hills, long-time law enforcement person, a no-nonsense guy. He came in and helped you out. But that was a hire that you made. It was a selection you made to be able to send a signal to your police department and to the city residents there. In Detroit, you have an emergency manager who has picked the police chief and brought the police chief in. Police chief just recently told me, he said, I want to be the people's chief, and they've been through too many musical chairs with Detroit police chiefs, and it shouldn't make a difference who the next mayor is. If I'm doing the job, let me do the job, leave me alone, and let me run my department. Is that the way it really works in politics, or will the next mayor come in, and should that next mayor have a right to be able to say, I want my own person in there, I don't care?
Well, I think the next mayor should make a decision on which police official will be right for the city, and above all else, right for the people. And if this gentleman, who's now the police commissioner, works out, then I think if I were the new mayor, I would keep him on. I kept some people on from the old administration. You can't come in and completely sweep everybody out, but the first and foremost thing, does this gentleman, does he make a change when it comes to crime? Is he there to serve the citizens and not his own personal interests? If that's the case, then I think you go against the grain and maybe keep him on.
Mayor Fouts, what has been the relationship between yourself and Dave Bing?
Man, you can read my mind.
Has it been what you had hoped it would be, and the new mayor, if it's not, do you hope that the relationship is different going forward?
I sent a congratulations to Mayor Bing when he became mayor. I ran into him at a couple of social events, and I said we ought to get together and work on some collaboration like joint patrols, of 8 Mile Road, maybe some things dealing with a war on drugs and things of that nature. Unfortunately, maybe because he was busy, he never got back with me. But I never gave up hope. I like him. I think he was a breath of fresh air. I think he was a tremendous change from Kwame Kilpatrick, and he was what the city needed at the time.
But you extended the olive branch, and the olive branch wasn't extended back, is what you're saying.
No, it was not, unfortunately. And I think the next mayor has to realize that Detroit is not an island. I often say to people in my State of the City speech, Warren is not an island, and we need to support Detroit. And I've even openly said the governor needs to help Detroit out and send in some money for police and blight fighting and things of that nature. So none of us are islands. We are part of the Detroit metro area, even though Forbes magazine keeps calling the Warren metro area, which doesn't exist. But I think we have to work together, and there are common things: crime and blight and jobs, and convincing people who might want to locate in the metro area that this is a great area and this is where we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of well-educated people. We got to work together.
All right. Mayor Fouts, thank you for coming in and joining us today.
Thank
you.
Thanks,
whoever
Mayor.
the next mayor is, we'll wait to see you extend another
Well,
olive branch.
I'm going to extend an olive branch today. I hope we can meet, and I congratulate whomever is the next new mayor.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Mayor Fouts, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Warren Mayor James Fouts joining us here on our webcast.